Yo yo yo. So this is a patch 14.10 review. Let's open it quick since it's not in the leak client for some reason. So let's go through it quickly because I have already analyzed pretty much everything, and I can give you a summary of most important changes. So there are some changes in the experience, and they seem quite minor. Main thing is that duo bot lanes now get more XP, so more shared XP, which means basically that once you are in somewhere around level 9, 10, you are not going to be 2 levels behind your solo laners. The gold streak is a little more balanced. We all saw these moments when you are 10k gold behind or something on bot lane, and then you get a kill or two, and suddenly you have a bounty. Well, those bounties are still going to be there, but they will be more rigid. You're not going to get 300 gold bounty because you got 3 kills. You're going to get 250. So Corki package is removed, and now he is more attack damage, so physical damage, not magic damage anymore. Cho'Gath, very minor change. Xante, also minor now. His shield is thicker. I don't know why they buff him again. It's completely broken champ already. Skarner, it's adjusted. Generally, Skarner is broken right now, so his damage scaling is slightly reduced. And his R now should feel much better because its cast time is lower, and you can cast other abilities, or at least channel abilities during the cast, during his ult cast. Tryndamere buff is actually massive, plus 10% critical chance based on Fury. Viego healing a little bit on minions is nice. Critical strike multiplier from Yasuo passive is lower. Hard for me to judge how bad these changes are. For Yasuo and for Yone, the same thing. Corrupting Potion is not in the game. Dawn Core is the item that I haven't seen for 5 months. I've tried it once on Rakan to get 18 Summoner Spell Haste, but apparently no one was using it, so Riot probably, because of it, Riot decided to change it. Now it gives you heal and shield power. Sounds like a very good item on Soraka, Janna, and Lulu. Possibly on Yuumi too. Echoes of Helia, the buff is massive. It's a reversion of the previous nerfs, but max stacks are lower now, which is a bit confusing. I think it's still going to be pretty useful. Like, it's basically stronger in short trades, the same or slightly stronger in long trades, unless you are like Soraka, always attacking and healing, shielding. Shurelya Battlesong item is done. I feel like it was useful before this nerf, but now I think other alternatives should be better on most of the ranged supports. Maybe it's still gonna be an option on melees, but I can't really see it right now. I feel like this is more of a nerf for TF on mid lane or something, but I don't see it being used a lot anymore. I think on supports either. So Anathema chains removed from the game. That's a good thing to know. You can't place them on enemies anymore. Warmox now gives you 250 more health, but heals you. The passive is a little weaker. This I don't understand. What this buff seems quite big, but at the same time it's the change from max mana to bonus mana. I would have to go dig into details, but it seems like a pretty big buff all in all. Now you get more health, significantly more health. So Buy Me Cinder 5 ability haste, but it's like this item is just so much worse now. I feel like minus 100 health, and it's substituted with 5 ability haste. Okay, it costs a little bit less, but nevertheless. 5 ability haste does not cost 100 health, not equivalent. Ability haste on Hollow Radiance, kind of nice, but again, minus 150 health. Seems like all the tank items got a little nerfed. The health seems like the tanks were benefiting from health a little too much on these items. Randuin's can now be built with Frozen Heart. That's a big plus against AD carries. Unending Despair. Lower triggering rate. Abyssal Mask actually feels, I think it will feel pretty good now. Minus 20% magic resist. You are basically building Void for your teammates. You're basically building Void for your teammates with this. And if your teammates have Void as well, I wonder how this stacks, probably multiplicatively, but we'll need to test. This seems like a very big buff. So basically, before you were reducing magic resist by, let's say, 20 in mid-late game, now you're reducing by minus 20%. So if enemies really stacked like if tanks stacked like 3 magic resist items against your double AP laners, then this item is the way to go. Plus, it also takes away, gives you more magic resist based on how many enemies are around, and the range is now a bit bigger. So this item, and also it costs less. So this item is now a possibility on support champions. Before it was completely abandoned. Knight's Vow got nerfed, and reasonably so. Like this item was completely broken. First item on every single support, melee support. Recently, now they just gutted it quite hard. I think it's a change that goes back to, like, it's basically a reversion of the buff. Maybe third item is still viable like before. Very likely. Zeki's Convergence now gives 25 magic resist, which is great. It's now you don't have to build it exclusively when you're against AD champions. Basically, you can actually think about the viability of this item as it is with his passive, and not overthink. Doesn't give mana, but mana was not the problem. Mana was not the reason why you bought this item. Blackfire Torch. Now, this is an interesting item. It's like a Liandry, or well, yeah, more like a Liandry. It basically applies burn on your spells, but it also gives you a lot of mana. So mages like, I suppose, Karthus should be very happy about this one. This is a component, also kind of nice to build. I feel like 900 total cost, and you get 40 ability, power, and burn magic damage. 20 bonus magic damage per second to monsters, so you can even build it. It's also useful first item buy on Karthus jungle, let's say, or Taliyah possibly. That I will, like with Taliyah, I'm not sure, but Karthus sounds very good. Luden's Companion got a little buffed. Now a bit more damage on his procs. Liandry, different path. Verdant Barrier, which basically is a magic shield. It's like Banshee component now costs a bit less, which is nice for mages, I guess. Like this is a undervalued item. Now this is very interesting. Like this is a boss item for sure. This basically, imagine you have 10,000 health Scion and you get this item, then not only do you have 10,000 health Scion, you also get 200 extra attack damage because of this passive. Like this passive basically gives you 2% of your bonus health as attack damage. So if you have 100 extra health, you get 2 attack damage. But if you have 10,000 extra health, then you get 200 attack damage. And then it also gives you extra attack damage if you have the lower health you have. So imagine you have 10k health Scion who has 3k health left. So he not only does he get 200 health from the conversion passive, but also he gets 20 extra damage because of his missing health, which is crazy. Blade of the Ruined King got a bit stronger. 15 seconds cooldown on melees as well, so they reverted the nerf of the melees. And now it's again every third basic attack against enemy champion is empowered and slowed. Well, the passive of it became weaker because it's much more difficult to open with Blade of the Ruined King like you used to on Twitch. But all the stats seem actually the stats seem nice, but this passive Mist of Edge became worse. We'll need to see. It looks good, but we'll need to see how it works. Twitch didn't really struggle before with hitting the third auto attack and using the passive. The passive proc from the first auto attack was just a bonus, you know? It wasn't necessary in the past. Black Cleaver, 6-second armor, 6% armor reduction, nice. 30% max armor reduction, really good. Tabius now give more armor and less basic attack reduction, which is a, I would say, this is fine. This item was way too strong on tanks who rushed it. Now it performs the same in the early game, but it downscales in mid-late game because of attack damage reduction percentage is lower. No mobility boots anymore. Now there are symbiotic souls. Apparently, I didn't get this far in my previous analysis. So basically, you get your recall empowered, like you have Herald, I assume, and after traveling 150k units, which is probably, like my wild guess would be 6 times from one fountain to the other. You get synchronized souls. Synchronized souls give you more movement speed and 45 movement speed out of combat, which, like, in comparison to, so these are basically normal boots. 35 movement speed, it's 5 movement speed more than normal boots, if I'm not mistaken. No, 25, so they are 10 more than normal boots. Yeah. But once they are upgraded, they seem much better. It's like Moby boots with empowered recall, which is kind of nice. Bloodthirster, 80 damage, crazy. No longer gives extra AD above 70% health. Sure, doesn't give crit chance. Sure. Now gives a shield once again, like it used to, up to 400 shield. This is now a survivability item, really nice, but doesn't have crit, so quite optional. Quite might be niche for crit AD carries, but also we'll need to see and explore. Collector now gives attack damage, more attack damage, costs a bit more critical strike. A good option for this item basically became stronger, especially for those who built it first, like Samira. Essence Reaver now basic attacks refund 15 mana on hit, plus 10% bonus AD. Interesting. No longer a Spellblade item. Also interesting. So you basically you give it to mana hungry champions that can also build Trinity Force, let's say. So I would assume Ezreal could be good with this item now, second item. But it's a question whether he really needs it. So also it costs much more now. Immortal Shield Bow, 25% crit chance, really cool. No lifesteal, not a problem. This lifesteal I feel like was an overkill. You can have Torrent's Blade plus runes, lifesteal runes, and you're never gonna need lifesteal. You don't really need lifesteal as AD carry unless you're playing against heavy poke. That's my opinion. Infinity Edge, 25% crit chance, great. Also basically became stronger, 80 attack damage, that's crazy. Kraken, 7% movement speed. This is gonna be like an on-hit item, basically. Deals additional physical damage increasing when hitting lower targets. Yeah, so basically this is an item for an on-hit build now. It gives movement speed and no critical damage. Lord Dominic's more critical chance percentage, more armor penetration. So again, critical strike item build benefits from this item. Third, fourth, greatly now. Maybe even means that you can better build this item sword before IE or even without Zeal item if you have some buffs, even minor buff. Maybe Zeal plus IE plus Lord of Dominic's is the way to go, as in 3-item build without completing your Zeal item. Mercurial Scimitar, lifesteal 10%, like it used to at some point, no critical chance. So again, this is gonna be a situational item when you want Quicksilver, when you want QSS. This lifesteal actually now is nice, so because most of the critical chance items don't give lifesteal, this 10% lifesteal is a really good bonus for an item that you build at the end of the game. Mortal Reminder, Critical Strike increased as well. Critical AD carries are very happy about this. Navori Flicker Blade now gives attack speed, movement speed, doesn't give ability haste, doesn't give attack damage, so it's on hit item, but it gives okay, so it's not on hit item. It's like a Phantom Dancer, but with cooldown reduction refund, which is quite interesting, but I don't quite get it. Man, I guess it's still gonna be like champions that basically it's a Zeal item. What can I say? This is a Zeal item, but I don't know if you build it with Zeal. No, you don't build it with no, you do build it with Zeal. So it's a Zeal item. So it's basically a Phantom Dancer that gives you cooldown reduction refund. 20% critical chance on Noon Quiver. Crazy. Well, they changed that, I guess. Phantom Dancer. So what does Phantom Dancer do? Movement speed 12% now. So that's the difference between the previous item, Navori. Attack speed 60%. So, and it's cheaper. So wow, this is a better Zeal item if you don't need cooldown refund. Much better item if you don't need cooldown refund. Rapid Fire 2600. Wow, this is like all the crit AD carries are gonna be so happy. Also higher crit chance. Same 2600. Everything buffed. Crazy, like 40% attack speed on static shift. Killing non-champions fires 3 seconds cooldown, 500 bounce range, 6 additional. I mean, 90 magic damage sounds much less than it used to. That deals x3 damage and has no cooldown, no bounce cap. 650. Okay. I mean, this item will probably still be picked on Zeri, but I don't think it's gonna be picked often on other champions. Also, I'm not even sure if it's gonna be picked on Zeri because there is no critical chance anymore. I'm not sure whether this item is viable at all. Stormrazor removed, Terminus a little worse, I guess. I'm just looking at this. Also, it's much worse because of 1000 gold recipe at the end. Used to be 300, now you need to save 1k to buy this. It's gonna feel really bad for on-hit champions. Cyclosword, different build path. This is a new item. Yuntal Wild Arrows. Critical strike 25%, attack damage 65. Passive, critical strike deals 35% total attack damage. Additional physical damage over 2 seconds. Interesting. So I'm not convinced that this is like, I mean, deal 35% total, additional 50. I mean, this is a lot of damage, by the way, but I'm still not convinced that this is gonna be valuable. Basically, it will depend specifically on how useful this passive is for 3200 gold. Zephyr. Wow, this item is added from Arena or something. From Arams. Attack damage, move speed, gain 5% movement speed for 6 seconds, stacking up to 15%. Great from Berserker Greaves that becomes available after you reach level 15. Berserker's Greaves. Are this boots? Still counts as a boot item. Wow, this is basically, this is boots now. and you can upgrade it and get extra movement speed, which is crazy actually, because League did have this problem of not being able to do anything with your boots, so people ended up selling them, and now you can actually upgrade them when you have enough gold. So basically your total value of your inventory is going up. That means that the game length can go up as well, because players can scale longer. Yeah, I'll skip the components. Changes seem minor. Scout slingshot, attack speed 20%. So this is a damaging a champion, deals additional 40 magic damage. Attacks reduce this cooldown by 1 second. Interesting. I wonder how this works with Zeri passive. Zeal, 20% critical strike now. Interesting. Summoner spells goes 240 seconds from 210. Duration 10 seconds. This is a pretty big nerf. I wonder if it's gonna be still playable on AD carries and supports. Cleanse 240. 75% dynasty. Like, this doesn't make much of a difference, but 240 feels bad. Exhaust 240. Barrier. Barrier is stronger now, and duration is longer. Interesting. So maybe this will be a good substitution for AD carries and supports instead of Ghost Heal. 900 to champion center. I mean, this is basically a slight buff. That's it. Like 20 more range on average. Or 30. Hail of Blades. So Predator is removed. I was going to make a joke about all the Jax mains. Hail of Blades. 80%, 100%, 100%. Okay, so Kalista, Ashe, champions are not very happy about this nerf. Especially Ashe. I'm not sure if she can survive this nerf and Ghost nerf. Ingenious Hunter removes sudden impact. This is basically, it now deals true damage instead of giving you lethality. It gives you extra true damage, and this is a significant amount of true damage, between 20 and 80. That's to compare this to the other alternative that deals true damage when you hit the enemy with CC. This deals like twice as much damage. Relentless Hunter, 0 plus 8 per stack. Okay, but this was pretty broken rune and everyone was going for it, so it's understandable that they nerfed it. Little Tempo removed. Okay. Press the attack, hitting an enemy champion with 3 consecutive basic attacks. Deals 40, 180 bonus adaptive damage, and amplifies your damage dealt by 8% until you leave combat. So basically, if you hit a target 3 times, then you will keep dealing more damage until you are done with the target, instead of having this buff for 6 seconds. That's pretty big. Overkill removed absorb life and new thing. Killing a target restores between 2 and 17 health. Interesting. That's from Overkill, I think. Like a good substitution. Haste. Ability haste. 1.5 per stack. So you can get 25 ability, 22.5 ability haste. That is a lot of haste, by the way. We'll need to see how this works. Cut down. Now you just deal 8% increased damage. Champions above 60% maximum health. So it's no longer about champions having more health than you. It's about them being healthy, basically, and destroying them while they're full health, and then decreasing your damage if the lower health they have. Fleet footwork. Heal a bit worse. Movement speed duration longer. That's huge. Like, the heal itself does not really matter, but the movement speed does. Resolve. Slowing or immobilizing an enemy champion heals you and a nearby ally with the least health for 50 health. 20 seconds cooldown. That's interesting. It's like I feel like a better way to use this rune, because it was either overpowered or completely useless. So now it's kind of in the middle, and it's more sizable. You know, you can feel the difference between using it and not using it. Like you get 20 health every 20 seconds if you like just right click, as if you're playing Ashe, for example. Future market removed, interesting choice. Cashback, get 6% gold back on purchase of a legendary item. What the hell is this, by the way? Like this is crazy. 6%. So you get like 150 gold on 3k purchase. I mean, that's not small, by the way. 150 gold, like you buy 2 items, that's boots for you. I mean, it is kind of small. On the other hand, like this is, I wonder what is the row of the runes. I will need to check that later. Dematerializer removed, jack of all trades. I'll have to check how this, how many stacks you can get. But basically, for each unique stat on the items you have purchased, you get a stacking bonus. Stacking, so you get ability haste per stack, and then at 5 stacks you get 10 adaptive force, and at 5 stacks you get 10 adaptive force, at 10 stacks 25 adaptive force. These are huge. This I need to check how many items do you actually need, but I think like 1 item or a few components, and then you can already proc your 10 adaptive force. Time warp tonic now actually is huge, so basically you don't reduce your healing, the healing value of the potions. You imagine potion heals you 120, but the moment you pop time warp tonic, it gives you 50 health immediately, and then it also heals you for the full duration of the potion, for the maximum of it. So you get 170 health out of 120 health potion. First strike became stronger, but gives you less gold. More gold early though. More gold very early, less gold in the future. So Karthus ult will not get as much gold now. Twice less actually. And I think that is it. Everything else is arena. Oh, there are some new skins. Wow, this is actually a cool one. That's a happy Kog'Maw.